This is the case of Hand versus Connor's Funeral Home. Mr. Hand, why are we here?
I chose Connor's Funeral Home to bury my father. We had a wake. They had my father dressed as nice as I've ever seen in my life. So my mom chose not to show the body until after prayer during the funeral.
Okay, now the funeral is the next day, correct?
Yes.
Okay, continue. Go ahead.
But the next day, when we got there, my grandma was the first one to be at the casket when it was open. And when Mr. Connors opened the casket, my grandma completely passed out. My father was not in the casket.
What do you mean your father wasn't in the casket? Who was in the casket, Ms. Hand?
There was another body in the casket.
Whoa, wait a second. Your father wasn't in the casket? You're saying it was another gentleman in the casket?
There was another gentleman in the casket.
Okay, so Mr. Connors, Mr. Hand is telling me that it was another body in the casket that wasn't his father. Do you want to elaborate on this?
Yes, Jan. What happened? They both ordered gold caskets.
Who is they both?
The young gentleman that's here right now and Mr. Williams. And they both ordered gold caskets with the silver bar. And they kind of look alike. They look like they was brothers.
Mr. Connors, are you saying that your company, Connors Funeral Home, mixed up the bodies after the wake? So for the funeral, you guys had a switch up?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So where's his father now? Where's Hand Senior? Where's his father now?
His father is on his way to North Carolina for a second.
Why is his father on his way to North Carolina for a second service? Why?
Because we had a mix-up, Your Honor.
So the Williams family, when is their funeral scheduled, and who's going to be present for the Williams family if Mr. Williams is not there?
They both just going to have two different families there.
Mr. Connors, this
Yes.
is
Yes.
the worst. This is the worst, most despicable thing I've ever heard of. How long have you guys been in business, Mr. Connors?
We've been in business for 40 years.
And this is the first time a mix-up like this has happened before, Mr. Connors?
No, this is actually the third time, Your Honor.
Mr. Connors.
But you gotta understand, Your Honor, since the coronavirus coming, we got bodies coming in here like you don't know what.
I'm lost. Hold on.
Your Honor.
Hold on, Mr. Connors. So, Mr. Hand, are you guys having a second service in North Carolina for your father?
Man, I don't even know nobody in North Carolina. That's the thing. There was no second service. We were only supposed to have the one service at Connor's Funeral Home.
Okay, so Mr. Connors, hold on. So you apparently did a mix-up with the bodies, right?
Yes. Yes.
So Mr. Hand Senior is on his way currently to North Carolina for a service that's not his.
True, Your Honor. To make the family happy, I offered them this urn right here.
You offered me an urn with somebody else's ashes in it.
I mean, my hands is tied right now. What
do
want
you
me to
mean
do?
your hands is tied? This is my dad. This is the last time I'll see my dad. And all you can do is smile at me.
Calm down, young man. Calm down.
What you mean, calm down? Who does that? Who offers somebody an urn with somebody else's ashes in it? First of all, who loses a body?
All right. There was two gold caskets, and your father and the other body, they were similar.
Okay, so Mr. Hand, you're telling me that the wake was on Wednesday, May 26th, and during the wake, your father was actually present in the casket, right?
Yes, sir.
And then you're saying at the actual services, which was held on Thursday, May 27th, that there was a mix-up and that your father wasn't in the coffin, but it was yet another gentleman.
Yes, there was another body in the casket that wasn't my father. Because my father looked so good on Wednesday, my mom decided to wait until the funeral to show everybody how good he looked. So everybody could have the best picture of my father in his passing.
Right.
I waited, let my grandma went first. As soon as they opened the casket, she fell out.
Your grandmother
She
fell out. You saying she fell out because it wasn't your father in the coffin?
She passed out because it wasn't her son in the casket.
Mr. Connors, was you present during the services?
Yes, I was present. But from what I understand, that she had just did dialysis the day before.
What does his grandmother having to have dialysis have to do with the mix-up in the bodies in the coffin, Mr. Connors?
Because when they go through the dialysis, from what I understand, they get really weak, and it takes a lot from you.
Mr. Connors, no, Mr. Connors, no. So my issue with you and your company, Mr. Connors, is not only is this the third time you've done this, you seem to have no empathy towards the family in their time of bereavement.
No.
You understand what I'm saying? How, Mr. Connors, how are you trying to rectify the situation? The Hands are trying to bury their loved one, and you have their loved one on his way to North Carolina for a second service that doesn't even belong to him.
Your Honor, I offered him this urn that somebody didn't pick up. I mean, what else am I going to do?
Somebody else's family member? Somebody else is about to have a funeral with missing their loved one. You got a double mix up here. And all Willie Watkins Jr. III right here can say to me is, here's an urn.
What else you want me to do?
Man, I want my daddy, man. That's not my daddy. What would you do if this was in you? I mean, I just don't.
You got to understand, this is somebody's daddy. This is somebody's daddy.
We're talking about my daddy. I don't care nothing about nobody else's daddy. What would you do if this was your father?
I take the urn.
Take the urn? Who's in the urn?
I think that's Clarence. Clarence is in here.
Clarence? What is Clarence's last name?
Clarence Miller.
The kind of way you can find my father.
Your father is on his way to North Carolina right now. And
telling me I gotta take my family to North Carolina to bury my father?
No, I'm not telling you that, young man. What I'm saying is, all right, the family that sent it to North Carolina, they had more flowers. So your father wound up getting a lot of flowers.
I don't care nothing about no flowers.
Oh, young man. Young man, I can't. It's not like he was alive, and I'm not trying to
What
be.
do you mean?
I know this is a sensitive situation.
You bury dead people.
But I'm giving you this urn.
What is the urn gonna do for me?
It's gonna rectify something. You're gonna have something.
Rectify?
Now this is money coming out my pocket.
Man, we paid $9,000 to bury my father. What is $500 earned? It just looks like a vase.
Young man, we all fall short of the glory of God, and mistakes happen. You know, I'm not laughing at this, and because I know this is a sensitive issue. But go on and take the urn. Take the urn.
You've been laughing the whole time. You standing around looking like a baby R. Kelly.
Oh,
but you just need to sing a song for my family or somebody, man. But I'm telling you, if I ever catch you out of that funeral home, and I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Now that's threatening. Now you're threatening me now.
I tell you what, if I ever catch you out of that funeral home, I'm gonna make your bottom teeth look like your top.
Young man, calm down. We're deeply sorry, and accept our apology, and take the urn, son. Take the urn.
You keep trying trying to give me the urn of somebody else's body.
This is somebody's body. You gotta have some respect.
Okay, so Mr. Connors, you in your funeral home, you're offering Mr. Hand urn from another family that you say failed to show up to pick up their loved one's remains?
We don't return refunds. There's no refunds. So the only thing that I can do is give you this urn, son. That's all I can do, and my deeply apology for this mistake. It's a horrible mistake.
So, Mr. Hand, first let me offer my condolences to you and your family during this time of bereavement for your loss of your father.
Thank you.
Now, you're welcome. Now, Mr. Connors, you on the other hand, you've mixed up two bodies. You've caused a division in two different families who are both mourning in this time of bereavement. And the best you can offer the Hands is an urn of another family.
Yes, Your Honor. That's all I can do, Your Honor.
Mr. Connors, regardless of how many bodies you have coming in and out of your establishment, you guys have agreed to take care of the loved ones, the remains of these guys' loved ones. Mr. Connors, enough. I've heard enough, Mr. Connors. And you guys have mishandled what is supposed to be a monumental day for both of these families, not just Mr. Hand, but for both of these families, the Hands and the Williams, Mr. Connors.
I understand.
You guys have ruined the last viewing for their loved one. They're never going to get a chance to see their father, their uncle, their cousin, their brother, their son again, Mr. Connors. And from the looks of things, you've expressed no compassion, no empathy, no anything, Mr. Connors.
I'm deeply sorry, and I apologize for this mistake. I really do. And
Mr. Connors, you know what? I hear you, Mr. Connors, but your apology and your lack of, like I said, your lack of compassion is not enough right now. So therefore, I am ready to make my ruling, and I am going to rule in favor of the plaintiff, Mr. Hand, and his family for the total amount that they're suing you for of $9,000. Plus, I will award them another $6,000, which will put them at the max that this court can issue. So that's going to be a total of $15,000 awarded to the Hands.
$15,000? But now he can't get the urn now. Now he can't get I'll keep the urn.
Man, you keep the urn, man. I don't want no urn.
Do you have a dispute and would like to settle it before our forum? If so, contact us at info@basicallyctv.com. Basically Court TV, where the disputes are somewhat real and everyday disagreements are handled however the judge sees fit.